I vey. Let me see here. That's going well. That's uploading. They should be getting. I hate when things take forever to upload. You give a recap to a story, it takes 12 years to upload. Oh, Ivy. Man, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all enjoying your day. Ravens flock, another week, another win. We improved to 4-1. However, there are still some lingering issues with the team. We're going to talk about it here. Let's talk about the positives first. Defensively, I loved what I saw from the defense. Now, of course, we still have an issue with our pass rushing. It's not like it was spectacular, but they were able to get to Joe Burrow today, and you got to give credit there. I saw some nice things from Jalen Ferguson. I saw some nice things from Bowser. Calais Campbell's always been great. He's consistently doing his thing. So, that's great. In terms of the secondary, Marcus Peters didn't play well, but he still got an interception. Marlon Humphrey continues to show why he's the best corner in the league. Once again, forcing another turnover. Fantastic by him. And Patrick Queen, week by week, he continues to show why he was that number one draft pick. I love what I'm seeing from Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen. Every week he gets better and better and better, and I love what I'm seeing from him. It's funny because week by week we start to love Patrick Queen every week by week we're loving him even more than the previous week. On the flip side, another certain individual week by week we're starting to not like him, and that is Matthew Judon. I mean, Judon didn't really show me anything that impressed me in today's game. At times, he just did not look like he knew what he was doing, and those two penalties definitely did suck. One of those offside penalties cost a turnover. So while Patrick Queen's out there doing his thing and showing off, Matthew Judon's giving us nothing, and that is bad. That's just that's just not fun, man. That's just not fun. I don't like what I'm seeing from Judon there. So that's definitely an issue. But other than that, defense is not so bad. Moving over to offense. This offense needs help. This offense needs a lot of help, man. This offense the from the play calling to the performance on the field, this offense has not looked great. It has been terrible, and they got a lot of work to do, man. They have a lot of work to do on this offense. I did not like what I saw out there from the team today. It was bad. It was honestly as bad as I've seen this offense play. This might be Lamar Jackson's worst performance of the season. And I know some people may feel like it's a bit harsh to say considering the fact that he didn't perform well against Kansas City. Well, my opinion in that, yeah, he didn't play well against Kansas City, but again, that's Kansas City. That's the defending Super Bowl champions. All that game showed us was that we're not ready for this stage yet, and we still have work to do. For us, offensively, the struggle against Cincinnati's defense, that speaks volumes about how bad this offense is and how much work they need to put in. Because I'm telling you, man, it was bad. It was definitely bad. I did not like what I saw from this offense. There was so many miscommunications. There was so many missed throws, so many bad performances. This offense is just played well at all today. It looked the first quarter, they didn't look great, but at least they were moving the ball and they were putting up points. After the first quarter, I looked at them and I was like, this team's not it. Like it's just not it. This offense is not where it needs to be right now. It's not where it was last season. It's it's bad, man. I'm sorry. I don't know how else I can put this, but it's bad. It's definitely bad. I'm looking at this offensive confusion. I don't like what I'm seeing from the team right now. At least I'm not to say I don't like what's seen from the team. I don't like what I'm seeing from the offense. It starts with the play calling. And once again, like I've said before, Greg Roman has continued to disappoint me as an offensive coordinator. This guy, his play calling is just, oh my God, his play calling is frustrating me so much right now. His play calling has been terrible. The Raiders upset at Kansas City 40-30. I'm not surprised that the Raiders actually upset at Kansas City because people got to understand this. Divisional rivalries are different than opponents you meet. Because when you're in a divisional rivalry, for the most part, I can definitely say you know that team. So you know the ins and outs of that team. You know how they like to play because you play them twice a year and you're constantly focusing on them. So you at least know what to do if you need to go up against that team. So for a team like the Raiders that are pretty talented, I'm not surprised to see them do well against Kansas City. Whereas for us, we ourselves still don't understand how to stop Kansas City, and our defense is so predictable because we don't have a pass rush that can get to Patrick Mahomes. Then honestly, I'm not surprised to really see any other team do well against Kansas City, especially a team that's in the AFC West as opposed to us. We've got a lot of work to do, and we still got to figure out this team. For a team like the Raiders to upset them, I'm shocked, but at the same time, I'm impressed. Congrats to them on actually being able to upset these guys. I like that. I really do like that. That's great. Wish we could do the same thing, but we're still a work in progress. On to Philadelphia. Yeah, man, on to Philadelphia. We'll see what we do against the Eagles. The Eagles actually lost to the Steelers today, and they actually made somewhat of a comeback, but they just weren't able to hold on. So give credit to the Steelers. They've been looking great. They actually look like a serious threat. I got to give them credit. I mean, I always thought they were going to be a serious threat. I never once looked back and said, oh, man, the Steelers are not going to be a threat this season. Ravens are going to easily win this division. No, I said the Steelers were going to be the biggest threat now that they got Ben Roethlisberger. So I'm not surprised to see this. It is what it is, man. Miami and 7. You know it, man. Oh, bro, you know it. I'm already ready for game 6 tonight. I'm already ready. I already know how I'm going to feel. I already know what I'm looking forward to seeing. Jimmy Butler and the crew got to bring it, man. Raiders going 14-2. We'll see. We'll see. In my opinion, I hope they don't go 14-2 because if they go 14-2, that means they're certainly making the playoffs, and I don't want them to make the playoffs because I said the Raiders weren't making the playoffs this year, and because I just don't trust that man up there as the head coach. John Gruden is not one of my favorite coaches. I just don't trust him, and I don't believe in him as a coach, especially in this era. So I just don't think they're going to do well. But if it happens, it happens. Ravens offense is getting predictable. This Ravens offense is definitely getting predictable. I mean, teams know what you're going to do. At this point, all the teams know that we're looking to go to Lamar Jackson. If you're not surprising anybody at this point, everybody knows that Lamar, not going to Lamar, everyone knows Lamar is going to two people, Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. That is who he's looking for. On third down, he's looking for Mark Andrews. Don't even look towards anybody else. Maybe he might throw it occasionally to Boykin, which, by the way, he's been absolutely garbage. Boykin needs to be benched. Or maybe he might throw it to Snead. But every time on third down, he's looking for one person only, Mark Andrews. So if our defense is moving forward, I'm putting all my focus on just covering Mark Andrews and forcing Lamar Jackson to throw it somewhere else. Because if you give him that blanket, he's going to throw it to Mark Andrews every single time. And that's what he did in this game early on. And then you saw the defense was able to adjust and they wouldn't give that to Lamar. So Lamar ended up looking bad at times out there. So this offense itself need to improve. I'm gonna say this right now in terms of the changes I would make on the offense. Let's ignore play calling for a second because if you've known me and you've been paying attention, I've been calling for this man Greg Roman's job since week 3 because I don't believe he can step up and give us the proper play calling and be creative in the passing plays. So I've been calling for this guy's job for a while, but I'm not gonna say that right now. In terms of how we need to improve on the offense, for one, you have to bench Boykin. Boykin is not bringing anything to the table. Like I said last week, half the time they don't even focus on Boykin in the offense. And the other half, when they do, he's not producing anything or he's looking bad or just like today, a miscommunication, a bad miscommunication. Because Lamar was looking to go deep there and he was expecting Boykin to run that route. Instead, Boykin's just caught blocking or he either he was blocking or that defender just locked him up. Either way, he did not look great. Boykin needs to be benched now. He really needs to be benched. Seriously, bench this dude. Please bench this dude. He's been terrible, man. Bench this dude. Please bench this dude. At this point, I would rather us try to put in James Prochet in place of Miles Boykin and see how that can do because Prochet's got some speed and he can make those 50-50 catches. That is what he did in college. And if you give him the opportunity, he might be able to do it here. Right now, all we're using Prochet is in the special teams to get the return game. Put him in. Also, Devin Duvernay has earned the spot of being the starting receiving slot, in my opinion. I feel like at that point, you've got to give him the opportunity because Duvernay, again, he was out there making plays on the offense. They actually gave him a lot more snaps than, not a lot more, but they gave him more snaps today than they gave him last week. So I'm hoping that they're going to, moving forward, they're going to put him as a starting slot receiver because if he can be on the field more and get more connection with Lamar, it could definitely help us in the long run. So I feel like he's definitely got to be the guy that they go moving forward instead of Willie Snead because Willie Snead's not providing anything right now. Greg Roman has been rubbish, complete rubbish. His play calling has been garbage. Greg Roman's been terrible, man. He has been absolutely terrible with the play calling. I'm so frustrated watching this play calling from Roman. It's just been garbage. It's been garbage. I don't know what he was thinking today. 37 pass attempts from Lamar Jackson. 37 pass. Roman, what are you doing, man? Why aren't you running the ball? And speaking of that, I was talking about how the receivers, how we need to put in Prochet in replace of Boykin and give Devin Duvernay the starting slot receiving spot. Let's talk about this run game, man, because I don't know what they're thinking, but did you see what J.K. Dobbins was doing out there when you actually gave him snaps? Why isn't this guy getting more snaps? Like every time we put this dude in the game, he's like breaking free for a big run. Why is J.K. Dobbins not getting more snaps? It doesn't make sense. He's out there producing. I love Ingram to death, but if anyone's been paying attention to how this run game's been going, you could see that a majority of the snaps should be split between Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Gus Edwards may have to be our starting back because he's the one that does the most damage. J.K. Dobbins needs more snaps, and you can still give snaps to Ingram, but you can't put him as the main guy right now. It's just you're looking at the other two; they're producing more with less snaps. You have to give J.K. Dobbins more snaps. Lamar could have had 4 picks today. Lamar was terrible throwing the football today. 19 of 37. Good Lord. All of it wasn't his fault. Some of it was on miscommunication. But in terms of the deep ball, he was just overthrowing everybody. He overthrew all his receivers. It was garbage. Lamar Jackson, after the first quarter, did nothing. The rest of the game, he did absolutely nothing. He couldn't even do anything in the rushing game. He had 3 rushing yards the entire game. It was terrible, man. Oh my God, Lamar looked like trash. I was so disappointed with how he played today specifically, but I was more disappointed with how the team played, and I was especially disgusted with the play calling. So I don't like what I saw from this team. I hope moving forward, this offense does make some changes in terms of personnel and the play calling does get better. If not, Roman needs to go at some point this season, but that's all I can really hope for the most part. Duvernay had some good looks today. Yeah, they got to give him more snaps. I honestly would put him as a starting slot receiver, give him more snaps over Willie Snead, but I'm not the offensive coordinator. I don't decide that. If you see what Duvernay's been doing, he's making an impact, and his speed has definitely been giving teams trouble when we put him on the offense. So may want to make that choice moving forward, Ravens. Up to you guys. Is Lamar's cover curse just gonna be him playing worse? No, it has nothing to do that. Nah, it has nothing to do with the Madden cover curse. I really hate when people try to make an excuse for the way somebody's playing because of a Madden curse. First of all, when it comes to the Madden curse, most people say the reason the curse actually either injures your player for the season or it costs, or like in Tony Brown's case, it just costs you your job. I don't see any of that really happening for Lamar here. So it's really just been him not playing up to his own standards. So and that's really just the offense not playing up to their own standards that they set for themselves last season. So they all have to step it up. They all have to be better. And really, it's up to them to make those plays. Can we get Greg Roman and Judon out of here? Oh man, I would love for Greg Roman to be gone and we get somebody else that could be more creative in the pass plays. Because at the end of the day, what we got to realize is that this run game is gonna, as long as Lamar Jackson is our quarterback, this run game is always gonna be here. And with the backs we have there, with Edwards and J.K. Dobbs and Ingram, we're always gonna be effective in the run game. whether we're creative there or not. We're always going to be effective in the run game. But the passing game, that is something you need a coordinator that knows what he's doing in the passing game to fix. And with Roman, he doesn't know what he's doing in the passing game. So that's definitely something that has been a problem. J.K. Dobbins needs to start. I would personally start him, but actually, you know what? I think over time you gotta slowly feed him more and more carries. So I would actually start Gus Edwards over J.K. Dobbins because Gus Edwards is the one that does our most damage, and he's the one that he could take a lot of those carries right now, and he can just break free and make big runs. No matter what, when you hand the ball to Gus Edwards, he's moving forward. He doesn't lose yards. He's always gaining yards. So I would put him as the number one back, and then J.K. Dobbins to get the second most snaps as he builds his way through its offense. But it's not up to me. It's really up to them. Who's your all-time favorite Ravens player? Ah, Ed Reed. Ed Reed. No question. Ed Reed would be my all-time favorite Ravens player. And in terms of NFL player of all time, Peyton Manning. Um, we're really gonna get Tuesday Night Football. It's gonna be weird, but this is how the situation is. I don't know any head coaches out there that could be. I don't know anybody that can take this spot right now. I've seen other people recommend a few guys, but I'm not exactly sure how well they would do in this. Like again, if you choose to get to a different coordinator at this point in time, you're gonna have to learn a whole new system. And with that, I don't know if you want to do that. It could definitely be an issue. But me personally, I feel like Greg Roman is not the guy that's gonna help this team moving forward. I feel that we need to get somebody else here that knows what he's doing for the most part in terms of being creative in the passing game. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing from this passing game. And again, it's still going to take, it's going to take time to fix the passing game. But in terms of the play calling, you can't fix that. Greg Roman is what he is, and he's not going to just change overnight. He's never been great with coming up with creative passing plays. He's never been that. Look at all the teams he's been on. He's never been that guy to be creative in the passing game. In the running game, yes. In the passing game, he's never been that dude. So it's definitely something we are, them as a team, they have to make that decision whether or not this is the guy. But we as a fan base, we're looking at this and seeing the play calls, and we're seeing that it's not the way. But here's the thing, though. Even though the play calling is not great, the Ravens still continue to win games. So how can you fire an offensive coordinator, even if if his play calling looks questionable? How can you fire him if the offense is still going out there putting up points and the team's still winning games? That's the problem we're having here. You could call for Greg Roman's job, but his job's not going to be in jeopardy as long as the team continues to win. And obviously, I'm not going to say, well, they should still continue to win games. But the team themselves need to really address this and assess how they're playing and assess the play calling and see if that's the way to go. Like I said, in our Super Bowl year, man, Cam Cameron was our offensive coordinator before we actually went to the playoffs. And his offense was not the answer. And at times, in fact, I think we started 5-1 in that season. But that offense was not the answer. If you go back to that 2012 season, you'll see the offense that he was running and the play calling he was running. It was terrible. There's a reason why we made that choice. We made the choice knowing that this guy in the playoffs is not going to be able to help us reach to where we want to reach. So we had to let him go, and you put Jim Caldwell instead. And Jim Caldwell did a great job with that team in the playoffs. And that offense looked great in the playoffs. But Cam Cameron was not the answer. We were still winning games. We went 5-1 before we actually y'all know the injury that happened to Ray Lewis in those situations. I'm not going to get into that. But we were 5-1 at that point. And we were winning games, but the offense still looked bad. Sometimes the play calling was just not great at that time. We're in a similar situation with that now. We'll probably win next week against Philadelphia. But again, you'll look at the play calling and you'll be like, this play calling is not going to work in the postseason. It's not going to work against top teams. This guy's not it. But can the Ravens really get rid of a guy that's helping this team win games? It's difficult. His play calling may not be the answer, but he's still helping the team win games. So it's difficult for me to see them go to somebody else. And that's really where the problem comes. All right. Patrick Queen is a stud. Yeah, Patrick Queen is a stud. The man is an absolute beast. I love Patrick Queen. I love what he brings to the table. I told y'all back in the draft, I wanted this guy to be on the team for such a long time. And the fact that we were able to draft him, I'm so happy for that. And he has delivered on every single faction. He has continued to deliver, and he will continue to deliver. I love him. Gus needs 15 carries. He needs 15 carries. He needs 15 carries, and J.K. Dobbins needs some more carries. And we got to run the ball more. I don't know why Roman decided today was a day he was going to throw the ball 37 times with Lamar Jackson. The only reason I can see him even thinking of throwing the ball like that is if he's is the only reason I can think about is let me think. Yeah, the only reason I can think of is that he's trying to get this passing game to where it needs to be. He looked at this opponent and said, "This is an opportunity for us to try and get this deep ball going." But again, you can't force the deep ball to work. It's going to take time for that to happen. They were throwing the ball on downs that they would never throw. They were drives where they were just throwing, pass, and then occasionally run. That's not going to work. That's not how our offense works. Also, you cannot just force the deep ball to work. It's going to take time, guys. It's definitely going to take time, but yeah, it's something that's gonna need some work. Who's the more successful team? Washington. What's good?
Your mama needs to borrow your earphones.
That's good. Wait, which earphones? My headphones?
Yeah.
No,
not your headphones.
Oh, my earphone thing?
Wires.
Wow, wires. Go ahead and take it. If it's somewhere, I don't know, somewhere on the table. I don't know.
You're sitting on the table.
Nah, not table or on a chair, or maybe I don't have it with me. I don't know. It's somewhere, bro. I don't know where I put my stuff.
Somewhere where?
It's somewhere, though.
Bruh.
I don't know where it is. Check somewhere, man. Who's the more successful team, Washington or Baltimore? You see what I gotta deal with on a daily basis? I can't even have a live stream with my fans without this individual being a pest. But yeah, who's the more successful team, Washington or Baltimore? Who's the more successful team, Washington or Baltimore? If you're talking about like the last 2 decades, Baltimore. But as a whole, as a franchise, I mean, they got like. I mean, I don't want to be biased here and say Baltimore, but if you look at the franchise as a whole from both teams, I mean, Baltimore has been more successful, but the Washington has more rings, but they've been around longer than we've been. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore here. So why am I a Heat fan and not a Wizards fan? Well, again, I've been a Miami Heat fan since 05. I was a Miami Heat fan in 05. A lot of that kind of has to deal with like Dwayne Wade, and I attribute Dwayne Wade as the reason I even like really D Wade's the reason I fell in love with basketball. And to see him like a year after I become a fan of this team, to see him go on that run in 06 really solidified me as being a Heat fan. It's not like I wasn't watching the Wizards. I was definitely watching the Wizards with Arenas and the crew, but like watching D Wade, a young D Wade, do what he was doing really made me get into basketball like that. Of course, I was watching before then. Like LeBron's the reason I even started watching basketball. That was like around 04. I started watching basketball as a young kid, like in 04. And then 05, I was really paying attention to like a lot of Miami Heat games, and I was just watching how D Wade played. And that's a big part of why I even became a Heat fan. And again, that run in 06 basically solidified me as a fan. Since then, I was watching, and rest has been since. As for the Wizards, I still support them. I'm from here. I'm going to continue to support them, but the last time we've had success is like 2017. Peace out, man. Yeah, this team, the Ravens, they got a lot of work to do. If I was to give a few things they need to work on defensively, the pass rush, that's still a work in progress. That's the only thing they need to fix on the defense. The pass rush is the only thing they need to fix on the defense. Moving forward, they should be fine. Offensively, they need to give more carries to J.K. Dobbins. They should probably make Gus Edwards the number one back in terms of the run game. In terms of the pass game, bench Boykin, put in Prochet and see what he can do. Make Devin Duvernay the starting slot receiver over Willie Snead. And overall, just be better in the play calling. I need the play calling to be better because what I'm seeing right now from this team is not great. The play calling needs to be better than what it is now. It just has to be better. It has to be better. If it's not better moving forward, this guy's not the answer. We need to get a new offensive coordinator. And if this offense continues to play this way, moving along the season, it's going to be a wrap, man. We're going to get to the playoffs and get embarrassed again. So there's so much this team needs to work on. There's so much this team needs to fix. There's so much work that this offense needs. But again, it's week 5. We still got plenty of time to fix it. They're not in sync right now. A lot of work has to be done. Lamar needs some work. the chemistry and the connection between him and his receiver needs some work. The play call needs some work. We need to change some things around with the personnel and offense, and the pass rushing and the defense still needs some work. So, yeah, other than that, I got nothing else to say. Thanks for joining on this live stream. I'm glad the Ravens got the win, but again, it's still some work to do. I'm probably going to go watch whatever's going on right now because I know there's a couple games going on right now, so I'm going to see what's going on with that. That's really all I got for this one. Quick stream here. I just wanted to recap the game for the most part. I also have a recap coming out for week 5. It should be uploaded by now. So, yeah, that's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.